second one. So whoever had squares for during the guest and right before the guest, you win a special prize. Send us a message here at WTF Nation Radio, and we're going to let you know what that is. So we're back here. Oh my goodness! All right, we're back here with Herman Corey from HLC Productions, and he's talking about his 3D printing adventures. I guess you would call that an adventure. And the last thing I think we said before we got cut off was I asked you if you had ever repaired there was a question, have you ever repaired your tank with a 3D printed item? And you said no, unequivocally no.
No.
Have you had maybe, hey, I can make this better, let me 3D print something, and we're going to try to integrate this into my tank? Try to make something.
I've had soldiers.
Okay.
Soldiers, mechanics come up to me and they had a little drawn up scale on something in the tank they thought would be better, and they wanted me to try to actually draft it and so he could submit it and on the next tank try to improve. I have had soldiers do that before, but did I actually entertain it? No, I did not. But I have had soldiers, try to improve parts by bringing it to me, with their little drone-up skill. I can't remember the reason why I did not. Maybe I need different dimensions and everything like that. And he just had it drawn up on the paper. Yeah. And never actually,
Like here's an MRE napkin with my engineering drawing. Can you make this?
Yeah, exactly. I get that a lot on everything, not just the tank stuff, just, someone, hey, I have this right here. Can you make that? And I say, yeah, I can, but I need to know how big, how wide, and everything like that. It's not, I just can't just plot it on there and then spit it out and it be magically the size that you want it. I need, like when I put it into CAD, I have to know in millimeters, from this piece to, from this end, how far, it is and everything. That way, I'm not doing the back and forth thing, playing with the scale.
So you've got an MS in Information Technology and a BA in Criminal Justice, concentrating on Homeland Security. Will this be maybe like a fallback? If everything, if the wheels fall off.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because the reason I went that way, I said it's always going to be crime and it's always going to be computers. So I hope I can find a job outside.
You're a smart guy, man.
So.
I mean, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, man, what kind of father figure this guy had? Or I mean, you must have had some really great leadership to lead you down this path. Because when I was in, it was all about working for the weekend and not really applying myself. And every time that I tried to use tuition assistance and take classes, it's like, okay, you're going to NTC. Or something's happening, you're going somewhere. And I was in a long time ago. I ETS'd in 1996. But we still went places and did things.
Did all that.
And did training, but you still maintained. You still did it.
I did all that. And I was the only one. Everyone was out in the middle of the field throwing the football, smoking and joking. And so Corey, or Specialist Corey, was on top of the tank with his laptop doing homework on top of the tank, trying to get it. And they sit there and they laugh at me and everything like that. Oh, Son Corey, you doing this, you doing it. I'm like, yeah. And then I'm the only one that has degrees.
Look at you now.
So I was trying to, yeah, exactly. So I was trying to use my time wisely. I know, trying to prepare for the future.
Everything the leaders tell you to do, you actually did, and it worked out.
Yeah.
It's like, that old man doesn't know what he's talking about. That old E7, what the hell? That Vietnam veteran.
That's all I got to say.
Yes. Yeah, I just tried to apply it. I tried to do exactly what they told me. I was always the one that never tried to get in trouble. I did get in trouble sometimes.
Everybody does.
Just mischievous type stuff. Yeah, but I always try to do what was right and not only right by my military career, but it's right by my family. And not trying to worry about right then, because I knew at some point I was gonna get out. Either I wouldn't get out then, or I was gonna retire out, and I needed a plan. And me being a tanker, the only one of the only things they say we can do once we got as being taken is heavy machinery and truck driver. And I didn't need one of those. I don't, So
do you mean there's no civilian tanker battalions that you can be attached to?
Yeah,
you can't blow stuff up.
No, only driving trucks and tractors. And I was like, that's not me. So I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do my thing right now and prep myself. So that's the reason I went those two directions. And like I said, hopefully, I can find a job outside of that, outside of my 3D printing and my 2 degrees. I hope I can find something, that continue to point me in the right direction.
So you grew up in North Carolina. Tell me about your family there.
Yeah. So my family, so my mom, dad, obviously back there, I'm one of 6 kids. So three brothers, including me, and 3 sisters. Was taken in, or I was adopted at 16. Back then, my with 6 kids, it's a bunch of people to try to keep up with. So my mom was having a hard time, trying to control us all, especially the boys, because we boys can be boys, So I was taken in by someone in town, and I'm glad I did, because if not, then I would definitely been going down the wrong road. So he pointed me in the right direction, and showed me, what life could be, about if I just did the right thing and listened to my parents and did good in school and everything like that. And that's where I'm at now. So like I said, I really have to give him a lot of props, for, doing what he did when he did not have to do that for me, and helping out a young man. So, because I really needed it.
It's good to have a mentor while you're growing up. And a mentor doesn't need to be a parent. It could be just anybody, just to point you in the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of stuff did he do? I mean,
needed it.
When I was growing up, I had my first job. My dad got it for me, but it was just a guy that he knew who ran a construction business, and he worked my ass off. I was hauling bricks, I was painting rooms, I was stripping rooms, and it was just it taught me some work ethic.
Mm-hmm. He actually was my boss. At the very first place I applied, it was a Piggly Wiggly.
There you go.
And I went there, and I had rings on my fingers, I had earrings in my ear, everything like that. And I walked up to him and I said, I'm looking for a job. And he just stopped and he looked at me, and he pulled me to the side, and he said, "This is what I want you to do." He said, "I want you to come back tomorrow. I want you to take all those rings off your finger and take the earrings off your ear. And whenever you come to apply for a job, always bring your own ink pen." I don't know where it come from. He said, "Always bring it." So I did exactly what he said. I came back the next day. He gave me a job right on the spot. Obviously, I can listen to simple directions. That's what I did, and from there, I lived like 18 miles out in the country and everything like that. So I was like, well, I can't come to work, every single day, because this, that, and the other. And he said, "You know what? I'll come pick you up." So at that point, that's when he started to mentor me.
That's awesome.
Helping me out and everything. When he really didn't have to do any of that, and he did. And then, like I said, I really appreciate it, because if it wasn't for him and what he did, for me back then, I could honestly say I probably would not be where I'm at today, if it wasn't for him.
What made you join the military?
Well, I joined right after 9/11, but that's not the reason why. Because a lot of people say, "Oh, I just joined because of 9/11," trying to do that. But I'm gonna be honest, that's not the reason why I joined. I joined because I wanted to be an FBI agent, and I went online, and it said a military background is preferred but not required, and I wanted to get the up on the next man if it came down to either me or him, trying to figure out who was going to get hired for the position and everything like that. So I was in college. I left college. I was only going to do 3 years into the military, and this was around OIF one time. So this is when they was really trying to keep people in. They were throwing bonuses. I got married. I started having kids. So that 3 years kind of went out the water. So I
turned into 7.
Yeah. So now I'm at 19. So, but I didn't give up on my dreams of getting my degrees. I don't want to be an FBI agent anymore. I can tell you that. But I did complete my degrees and everything like that. So, but yeah, that's the reason why I came, man. But I am not gonna say I feel like I just got situations just had me stay in. That's what it was. But I did learn a lot, and appreciate what my leaders in the past has handed down to me, and they helped shape me also, just like my the guy from home. They helped shape my life, just the same. So I really appreciate them also.
Because your mentor from prior to military service at the Piggly Wiggly
Yeah,
kind of instilled a little bit of a work ethic toward you. But then you joined the
exactly.
military, and then that got beat into your head. I mean, as a tanker especially, work ethic is
Hmm.
there. You're there for your team, and these are the things that need to be done and have to be done.
Exactly.
So
Yes, sir.
that just became kind of just a second nature.
Yes, sir.
I like the way that I really like the way that you're an E7, you're a leader, and the way that you talk to the people that are online that are wanting answers, and you're not going to give them the answers. You're going to give them the steps to get to the answer, and I really
Exactly.
appreciate
Yeah.
that. That is really awesome because I'm
Yes,
sure in
sir.
your upcoming in the military, you had really great leadership.
Exactly.
I'm assuming this. I have no idea. There's crappy leadership everywhere, but you probably had some
No,
really
I,
really great leadership that was just I'm not going to give you the answer. I'm just going to give you the steps to get to the answer.
and just like I have good leadership, I might have some bad leaderships at leaders at the same time too. But I can also learn from the bad. I can learn what not to do, to help my soldiers,
Right.
and like I said, I'm not going to say all of my leaders has been the greatest, but I've learned something from all of them, either what to do or what not to do, and for me to apply that, to my soldiers. So I have soldiers all the time, old soldiers, and back when I was a platoon sergeant, back in 17 and 2019, that still reach out to me now. I have E7s that used to be my guys that they still call me boss. I'm like, we both E7s, so I feel like I really made an impression on them, because I treated them like a man. I treated them, equally. I treated them, they know if Sean Corey says something, that's exactly what it is. Sean Corey is not going to sprinkle salt on anything. He's not going to throw no sugar on anything. Did at the same time, so they understand that when I come and I tell them something, and that's what it is. Um, and like I said, I just treat them like a soldier should be treated, and I didn't show no favoritism, but I know when to show sympathy, and everything like that. So
So with all of your 3D modeling stuff, it's have you done anything that's not artillery or infantry or armor related?
yeah, so I do have I do have one thing on my webpage. It's called a lithophane. So a lithophane is it's a 3D printed picture. Actually, when they first come out, back in old days, it was like made out of like porcelain.
Mhm.
But today you can print them out of 3D printed pictures, 3D print on 3D printer. And what you do is you 3D print them and you put a light behind them, and actually the light will come through it, and you can see the picture through the plastic.
Oh
So I
wow,
print
really?
those.
Like a
Yes,
legit picture, like a
yeah, yes, sir.
photograph.
I actually have one. I actually have one right here. I don't want to get up and go get it, but I do have one sitting right here beside me. And like I said, it's literally it's like a picture, but you can feel it, you can touch it, and everything. And I usually use those for like memorials, something like someone that that lost someone.
Mhm.
I'm on a lot of the RIP pages. That a parent may lost a child, or a child lost a parent, and something like that. And so they'll send me their picture, and I'll convert it into a lithophane. And even though, like I say, it is a picture, they can actually feel it and touch the person on the
Oh
picture, because
wow.
3D print, it prints everything, 3 dimensional, so you can actually feel it and everything like that. Yeah, I actually have a tab on my page also that shows the lithophane, and
Is
once
this
I actually put it behind the light, it sent through.
is this your page at HLCProductions.com?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's on the
All I
page.
saw, I just got enamored by all of the mortar rounds and all the tanker stuff. I didn't go any further. I was like, this is
Yes, sir.
awesome.
Yes, sir.
So I'm an aviation guy. It's kind of hard to do a helicopter, right?
Yeah, it is. But I do print like some things for the helicopter, like let's say like the A10s. I can print the round. It's like it's really long. I
It's
print those.
we just had the fat electrician on last week, and the round that goes into the A10 is a little bit larger than like a beer bottle, a little bit larger.
Yes, I have printed those. But like some of those are like special requests. Like if I did have an A10 guy that comes to me and say, "Hey, can you print this for me and put my guy's name on it?" Then I already have the model made up and I print it for them. Or I do make the Hellfire missile
Nice.
also. And I have a couple of Stingers that I print, and then some tow missiles that I have also.
How many builds is a Stinger? Because those are kind of long.
They are. So everything I break down in 5 sections. So
It's whatever it is divided by 5, and that's what your CAD is.
Yes.
So
Yes, sir.
what's your output
down.
file? Is that a DXF file or
No, it's the STL file.
STL?
Yeah, STL file, and then I pull it over into the conversion software, and it converts it into a G code file.
How long does it take to render that?
It depends. The tank rounds right here behind me right now. I can make those in 20 minutes. 20 minutes, 30 minutes, depends on exactly how I want to do it. About 20 minutes. Let's say the Stinger missile, I can literally make that in like 10 minutes. It's really easy. I literally just take, I have this website that I go to, and it gives me all the drawings to scale. It gives me all the dimensions for it. And then I literally take a profile slice of that image, and then I pull it over into Illustrator, and I do sorry, not Illustrator, into Fusion 360, and I just do a revolution on it, and it makes the round. And from there, I just take it and say, I want from this end of the round to this end of the round, I want it 70 millimeters, and it just make it to scale how far I want it. From there, I will have to go in and put all the details on it. It depends on, depending on, what round it is.
This is really awesome because I'm thinking, okay, there's the cost of all the software, but I'm like, this is a business, so you just write that off as a business cost, and I'm like, wow, this is really awesome. This is like it kind of feeds. It's a business that feeds itself, and that's kind of what you need.
Exactly. Exactly. And like I said, there's no secrets to it. I don't sit here and I'm not gonna sit here and say, well, this is how I do this, but I'm not gonna tell you, how I do it. No, I tell people all the time, so how you do this, how you do that. Come here, bring your computer here. I'm gonna show you exactly how I do it. Bam, this is how I do it right here.
So Pooky, I think you've got a mentor here.
Oh yeah. I've been listening all the time.
I have guys on my website. They say, "Oh, I like this round, but I want to make it myself." And I tell them how to make it. I don't sit there and be like, "No, well, I'm gonna tell you how to make it, and that's gonna miss out on my profit." No, I show you. This is how it's done. A
lot of times when you want to do something, it's the starting part. Where do I start? Where are the shortfalls? How do I get from point A to point B to point C? And
exactly.
A lot of folks are just like, no, I'm not going to tell you. But you're another gentleman. You're just like, no, I'll tell you, because your product is solid. Do you paint yours, or do you render those in color?
Or I do. Is there paint? I do everything. I paint them. I
saw the third ID. All that stuff that's awesome, dude.
I paint everything. I do it, and it's a one-man shop. I do it all by myself. And sometimes I have my girlfriend help me paint the symbols, because I get a backload and everything like that. So she'll, hey, let's sit down, let's paint these balls up really quick and everything like that. So she'll help me out. But everything is all done, by myself, one man shop. And I have, 20, 30 models, I have to print like these rounds right here behind me right now. 20, 30 rounds, I have to get those out. And it literally takes me probably from the time I hit print for the first piece until the time I put it in the box. It may take a week and a half per model in order to, to get it, to get them out the door. But my girlfriend, she helps me a lot, trying to, help me, paint everything up and, and get it gone. So
does she ever catch you getting lazy and saying, "Hey, come on, let's do this"?
Well, so, sometimes, but most of the time is um, you're down in the basement again, on your printers and everything like that. I'm like, yeah, I have to. Like, I got orders I got to get out and everything like that. Oh, you need to take a break. You come home from work and you go straight to the basement. That's where I'm at right now. You go straight into the basement and you're down there, doing your models and stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, this is what I do.
I was wondering what your setup was. A lot of folks, like here in Texas, we don't have basements. We don't have the luxury of basements. When I lived in Ohio, of course, we had one. You obviously have one here in Rochester. And I was wondering what your house setup, because it kind of looks like behind you. You walk through the front door, and be careful, don't touch my damn tables here.
Yeah. So actually, the door is actually, way that way.
Yeah.
And where we're at right now is the back.
Okay.
In the back of the basement. So actually, it's a carpet line on the floor right there. So I'm just like, don't come past the carpet, So anything past the carpet is in my 3D printing studio. And if you come near the printers, I'm watching like a hawk, because like I said, one little bump or anything like that, I missed the entire print up and everything like that. So, so I try to make sure, that the kids doesn't come down, near the printers that much.
So you've got a couple of kids. How old are they?
So, my kids actually I have 5 kids,
Five kids.
My kids,
wow.
Yes, sir. I'm proud of all my kids. I love my kids.
That's awesome.
Yes, sir. Yeah. So I have an 18-year-old son. I have a 14-year-old daughter, a 12-year-old daughter, a 10-year-old son, and then my little bruh. He's only 4 years old.
Wow.
I got a little bruh. So
you're kind of repeating the family that you grew up in, man. You got you got 5. You got 5. You got another one coming?
Yeah. Oh no.
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 He said
I'm
no.
good.
That's
Sir,
awesome.
I'm good. Yes, sir.
I don't know. You got anything else, Pooky? I have no questions. Really, I'm really amazed at the way that you've. I'm really amazed at the way that you've managed an Army career and then developing a skill.
Exactly.
Like this.
And doing this all at the same time, though. That's the thing.
I mean,
Yeah.
herding cats, and then some.
Yeah. I just always been the type of person that's always stay busy. I can't sit around. I don't like to sit there and watch TV. I'm not a sit down and watch TV type person. So I always have to be busy doing something always. And so this right here, if I'm not doing 3D printing, I got my cameras in my hand. I'm doing something like that, or I'm at work, something like that. But you're not going to catch me in the middle of the day laying in the chair watching TV. That's not me. I can't.
Have you looked at trying to sell your photography?
I have. Yeah, I actually, not since I've been in Rochester that much, but I just PCS'd here last November from Fort Stewart, Georgia. So
Okay.
I was down there. I was doing I was still doing there, but also I was doing a lot of photography, selling my photography and everything like that. I just really haven't had a chance to do it since I've been here in Rochester, because my workload and my business since I've been here with my 3D printing has really taken off a lot. So it keeps me busy. So
Not to mention your day job.
exactly. Yeah. So I have to, go in, teach the cadets, teach my classes, whatever they want us to do.
So what do you teach? You teach engineering?
No. So what we teach we call it military science. So it's literally, so you got the MS1s, which are the freshmen, and then you got the MS4s through the MS4s, which are the seniors, and then and it's literally just baby stepping them up to becoming an officer in the Army. So the freshman years, I teach MS1s. So it's all the introductory type stuff into the military. This is how you march. This is how you read a map. This is how you do this, that, and the other, blah, 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 blah. Stuff like that. And then the MS2 year, they learn a little bit more to the 3, to the 4. By the time they hit the 4, they should be ready to go to the basic officers course. and actually become, commissioned officers. Actually, they already commissioned officers before they even get to the base officer course. It's just, going more in depth in what their actual skill set or what their actually job is going to be.
That is a
once
true
they actually
statement.
Get the force.
So another question from the chat is, I'm sure PCSing with all that hardware is fun to recalibrate everything.
Yes. When they packed all my stuff, they was extra careful because they don't want to pay for anything. So each one of my printers have their own box and had more paper in it than they'll wrap around a TV. They has so much in each one of the boxes. But like I said, once I got it,
you're like,
and everything,
hey, just throw the TV in there, but take care of these boxes.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, once I get in, I have to make sure I got to do bed leveling. Make sure the bed leveling, just make sure the bed is nice and flat and everything in comparison to the hot end, which is the part where the actual PLA actually get extruded out, and on the actual bed itself. So when I first moved here, I came here with 4 printers. Now I'm up to 8 because my workloads, and probably by this time next year I'll probably have 4 more.
I hope you do.
Depends on how
much PM. How much PM do you have to do with those? Do they just run, or you have to take care of them?
Well, I have to take care of them because they, like I said, they're constantly moving and everything like that, and the beds are only held up with screws on the bottom. So as they vibrate and everything, it'll loosen up and everything. And one of them may print perfect for a week, and then I come in the next day and it's just off, and I'll have to literally take it all the way down and recalibrate the bed and everything like that, or I can be just walking by and bump it and knock it off calibration. So I'm constantly doing maintenance on the printers, and even sometimes where I just have to set that printer out because I haven't done any kind of maintenance on it. It's just like a vehicle, you have to continuously
change your oil.
Yeah, exactly. So on the printer itself, I had to continue changing out this one piece that may have a lot of wear on it and everything. And then in order for me to keep it, running like a well-running machine and everything, I'm just go ahead and do this now before I get into a middle of a print and it give up on me. And now I lost time and I lost the material, to make that model, itself. So you have to do some kind of, some preventive maintenance on them all the time also.
So if anyone wants to check out your stuff, go to HLCProductions.com, right?
Yes, sir. HLCProductions.com is my website. So if they want to, look at, see what I actually offer and everything like that. But, everyday stuff, they can go over to my Facebook, HLC 3D Impressions, see the chat, say hello, put some little messages up under the post. If they want to recommend some stuff, they say something's on there that they don't see, but they really want, or they want to see more of. And I'm always asking, because if you look at my site, I'm more directed towards the armor, the infantry, and a little bit of some small other MOSs. But I'm always looking to improve my inventory on my site and the stuff that I make. And I put up there, what else do y'all would like to see, me make and everything like that, because I can only think of so much. They'll say, I want this. And I say, all right, I know you want this, but give me the nomenclature, because I want to make exactly what you want, and what I do,
the first thing that comes to mind right now is the drill sergeant shield. Everyone kind of loves and hates the drill sergeant shield, but if you're in that type of realm, then yeah.
Yes, sir.
And that's just a flat model.
Exactly. It can be a flat model, but with me, I try to put 100% effort into it. So I try to make it as 3-dimensional as I can. I don't want it just to be flat with cuts in it. I want it to actually have 4 dimensions on it, where it's not just 1 or 2-sided. I don't like that. I like to put full effort in everything that I do. So when they say that's HLC 3D impressions type stuff, then
3D means something.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, exactly. 3D means it doesn't just means it's three-dimensional. No, you can tell. Oh, he put some time and effort into his product, and that's what I strive for all the time.
So I know you haven't turned around a lot, but none of your machines have caught on fire since we've been talking.
No, they haven't. No, I can hear them. I can hear them. So I have a couple.
You know what? It's like a baby. You know what they sound like. You know what they sound like when something's wrong.
Exactly. Oh, they'll tell me. Trust me. You will hear them. They'll click clack. They will make all types of noises when something isn't right. And because the only reason why they did that is because either I got lazy and I didn't want to do what we just talk about, some kind of preventive maintenance on
right.
it, and it bites me in my tail later on. So I continuously try to keep my printers up and going and working well.
Sergeant Corey, thank you very much for your time. We're gonna.
Yes, sir.
I guess this is the end of the show. Before we go, one more time, please give us a rundown of where we can find you. You're on Instagram, Facebook?
So I'm mainly on Facebook. Facebook is HLC 3D Impressions, and also I have my website, which is www.HLCproductions.com. I have a contact there. So either one, they can give me they can drop me a line. Even on my page, I even have my business phone number thing on there. They want to send me a text. I'll answer as fast as I can. I usually try to get back to everyone within an hour or so, depending on what I'm doing.
So you're the CEO, the CFO, you're the HR department, you are all the employees, because this is the man that is HLC Productions. Thank you very much,
yes,
Herman,
yes.
for your time.
Yes,
I really appreciate it, man. You're a busy dude, and I almost feel bad for interrupting you because you're probably going to be doing things for the rest of the night.
And then, no, sir. Like I said, as long as they back there making that noise that you probably can hear, I'm still good.
Thank you very much, sir, for your time. And
yes, sir.
I don't know, man. Make the good choice, and this will be a hard choice whether you're going to stay in for another 3 years, or just get out at 20.
Well,
I think I know what you're going to do, but you got everything going in your direction, and I really am happy for that. That is awesome.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But thank you for having me on, and it was an honor. I definitely did not expect for to hear from your station. Messaged me, asked me if I would like to be on. I was actually pretty flattered that y'all even noticed my craft and what I did. So I'm very grateful. To
thank
be
you very
on
thank you very much for
tonight.
mentioning that, and I'm going to credit Mom for that.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, everybody. Where is your slide? There we go. Herman Corey, HLCProductions.com. Go and visit that. And if you got an idea for something that you want to be made, let him know, or give him some drawings or something that he can work with, and he'll make it happen for you. Okay, everybody, thank you very much for tuning in tonight. My name is Koz, and up somewhere is Pooky. I have no idea.
Somewhere I'm always hiding.
You're always there.
Watching.
What a great show. Thank you, Herman, for being here, man. And I really want to check back into you probably in about 6 months and see where you're at, because I really want you to have like 12 or 14 printers.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Would I have to actually personally hit you up on the side and maybe ask some advice? Because that's the exact business model I'm trying to get into right now.
Yeah, we got a noob here with Pooky wants to get into 3D printing, and I think you can probably lead him in the right direction, because he's got the drive.
Yes,
he just needs the knowledge.
Message me. Anyone can message me anytime. I will point you in the right direction. If I don't know the answer to it, I will find out the answer, and I will get back with you.
Like any great NCO would ever say. Thank you very much for your service, man. You've been great. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Woo! That was cool. that takes a lot of drive, and I feel like I didn't do myself any service when I was in the Army, because this man fucking did it as a tanker, and I was like a REMF aviation guy, and this guy did it as a tanker. And all they do is they shoot stuff, they clean the stuff that they shoot with, or they're going to the field somewhere.
I just have this strict memory of being at Fort Hood and doing missions out field, seeing a tanker with his butt hanging over the hatch, just taking a shit because he didn't want to leave his
death before dismount. Herman confirmed it. It is true. All right, everybody, thank you very much for hanging out. This is Koz and Pooky, and don't forget about our show on Tuesday with Pop Culture Warrior. We have Michelle C. Smith. She's going to be there. She's like a ninja. And if you're not there, she's going to know. Looking for the graphic. Da, 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 da.
Got too many graphics.
No kidding. I've got this whole line of stuff. All right, everybody. Thank you very much for hanging out. And this is Koz and Pooky signing off. Shots.
Be safe. Don't do nothing stupid.
Yeah. Don't drink and drive, man. Fucking Uber is cheaper than a damn DUI. And the chances are more favorable that you'll live on the ride home.
This is WTF Nation Radio.
Wear a condom? We're in Fayetteville. No one gets STDs here.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Is it necessary for me to drink my own urine?